there on your left, okay, so we can hear you. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Amy graduated from the College of Charleston.
I'm going to lay that right there on your left, okay, so we can hear you.
You want me to say hello? Hello, this is Dianne Johnson, and I'm talking to Vindaro Flynn. Spell that, Vindaro.
Vindaro.
It's D-I. I thought it was V-N.
Vindaro.
Vindaro.
Vindaro Flynn.
Yeah.
F-L-Y-N-N. F-L-Y-N-N. Now, this Vindaro is my half-great aunt.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
she's my son Chad's half-great-great aunt.
Yeah.
And Dale and Chad and I are here visiting with Vindaro today. We've just gotten back from Bentonville. We went over there to see a Civil War reenactment at Bentonville, outside of Newton Grove.
Yeah.
And we got to talking about it, and we went to Gettysburg last weekend. Chad was on spring break, and we wanted to do something on the spring break, so we went to Gettysburg, and then we went to Lexington, and then we went to Appomattox, and then St. Petersburg.
No, Petersburg.
Petersburg. So we're kind of into a history mode right now.
Yeah.
And Vindaro is her father, Reverend Reddin Honeycutt, who was my great-grandfather, was a Civil War Confederate soldier. And so we wanted to come and visit Vindaro and just talk to her and get to know her better. And so, when is the last time I saw you, Vindaro?
I saw you in the store there one day. That's been a long time. That's when I could walk.
Who were you with?
I went with Bertha. You know Bertha, don't you?
Bertha?
My daughter in Cleveland.
Tell me, I don't know that I do see, I just don't remember Bertha. Tell me where she lives. Bertha?
Right in front of Rufus Church.
Right in front of Rufus's?
No, there's I can't think sometimes. I've got that age, I can't think.
But Bertha lives in Clinton?
Yeah,
Okay. And that is your daughter.
yeah.
How many daughters? Do you have another daughter that I spoke
I've got 5 daughters.
You got 5?
I've got 2 lives here.
In Dunn.
Mhm.
Now, what are their names?
Mary and Lorraine lives here.
Okay.
Martha lives in Cleveland. And I've got one living in Garner and one in South Carolina.
Okay. I see.
Let me ask you something.
But I didn't have any boys.
No boy.
No boys.
I got this picture.
Did you know Shewas McCurry?
Yeah, I did. I know that name.
Yeah, that's Murphy's son.
Is that right?
Yeah. That, son, if you look up there, that picture at the bottom, and that, it's come out of the paper.
The one on the far right.
Yeah. That's fifth generation of my family.
Is that right?
And that's Martha and all her family.
I just got up there and got that picture. Tell me who that is.
That's my daddy and mother.
Now, what, is that right?
Yeah.
That's Reverend Reddin Honeycutt.
How
What
about
was your mother's name?
Ella.
Spell it.
Ella. E-L-L-A.
See, that's the picture we had.
Yeah.
That's in Piney Green
I
Church.
got mine up here.
Yeah, and that's the same one.
Yeah.
And then we've got a picture of his tombstone. Well, I got it in here somewhere. And I want you to tell me if you knew where his father, Hillary Honeycutt, was buried. We looked his grave and could not find it.
Well, it's there near Piney Green Church.
Tell me exactly where, and maybe we can find it. Do
Well,
you remember?
know where Piney Green is?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's along down the road going towards Salem. Clippers, not Clippers, but several.
Going on,
Uh-huh.
okay, like you going to Hall's store?
Yeah, back in there.
Okay.
That's my clams all live in there.
Is it at a church where Mr. Hillary Honeycutt's buried? Or is it a private cemetery?
Private.
How do you, can you tell me how to get there? You going like you're going
You
to
mean
Hall's?
my daddy?
No, Mr. Hillary Honeycutt.
Hillary, that was
His daddy.
Yeah, I don't know where he was there.
Okay. Well, we tried to find it
Yeah.
and couldn't find it.
No. Back then, you know, they just took them out somewhere and buried them.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think I know about where it was, but no buried there on that.
So they didn't necessarily put them in a graveyard.
No,
They just stick them out in the field.
Yeah, well, there's a graveyard in front of my house. My daddy started. His first son died, brother, and he started a cemetery out in the field.
Now, where were you raised? Where was Mr. Reddin Honeycutt's home?
Well, you know where Reynolds Crossroads?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, about a mile and a half from there. You come on down, and I turn to the left or right, and I'm the second house. And
That's the old home place.
well, there's no home there now.
But I mean, that's
they tore it down. I built me a house on my part of the land that my daddy gave me.
I see. Okay.
And so I've lived there all my life.
Did you know there are not many people in the United States that had a daddy, many people that are still living that had a daddy fought in the Civil War?
Is that right?
There are not many. We just read a newspaper article that last year there were 390 members.
About 390 daughters of the Confederacy.
Still living.
Well, do you know whether there's any Confederate children are living now? Somebody said they thought I was about the only one.
You may. I mean, that's what we're saying. We don't think there are many left.
Well, there are two in Raleigh.
Well, they were.
In Raleigh.
Those two women.
But,
Well, they
I'm
were.
saying it was their father.
Yeah.
They were alive last year. We've got their picture in the paper in the car. You want me to go get it? It's two women who live in Raleigh, and their mother was in her early 20s when they married their father, who was in his 70s.
well, you knew that my mother was 30 and my daddy was 60 when they got married.
Is that
30
right?
and 60.
Now, what was your mother's maiden name?
Royal.
Royal. Now, the first one Mr. Reddin married was a McLean. Is that right? And that's your daddy came down from the McLean side, and she
Yeah.
right, and you came down the Royal side.
Yeah, his mother was a daughter of Papa Joe, and she was in the McLean side.
Right.
Are you talking about Estella? My daddy's mother
Right.
Stella.
was Stella.
Right.
Stella, and she was a McLean?
Yeah.
Stella McLean?
No. Her mother was a McLean, honey.
She was
What
a
she said?
butler.
She married my own
Her
brother.
daddy's a butler.
Right, but her maiden name was what?
Honeycutt.
Honeycutt. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. She had two wives. Her dad had two wives. He married Isham McLean's daughter, and then he married the royal lady. She came to run the royal side. Your daddy came down to McLean. And when we're talking about mother, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell me about Mr. Reddin Honeycutt's personality. What was he like?
Oh, he was a real strong feller. He didn't stop. He was where it went. And
Going all the time.
yeah, he was a worker. And of course he was a preacher too.
Yeah.
And you know, Piney Green, he used to preach at Piney Green.
Right.
And they had his picture hanging in the vestibule.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was he the first preacher there?
No, it had more.
But I wonder why they chose to put his picture in the vestibule.
I don't know.
I
I don't know who the other pastor was. Might not have had a picture.
Right. I hate to ask a lady their age, but what's your birthday?
Yeah,
What's your birthday?
April
April what?
22nd.
What year?
What year?
What year were you born?
1908.
1980.
I'll soon be 92.
92. You've seen the world change a lot, haven't you?
Yeah,
Is it for the better or
and
for the
I've
worse?
changed a lot.
Yes, we are all changing a
Yeah,
lot.
that's right. So it came out of that photograph, put it right there. So your dad didn't talk much about Civil War, though, did he?
No, he didn't never. He didn't. If he talked to his first children, I don't know. But we were a little young and we didn't want to.
No. So I read from Ms. Margaret Clemens that he was wounded
Yeah,
in 1864. Do you know where he was when he was wounded?
seemed like it's Petersburg.
Well, I was going to show you, we went last Saturday, we went to the area, let me find it.
What are you looking at?
The photograph stuff that says,
Which photograph, honey?
the packet that says, not Appomattox, not Bentonville, but,
Gettysburg?
no. Maybe this is him, let's see. Oh, yeah, this is him, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, you took him right here, yeah.
We found out from Miss Clemens that he was taken prisoner by the Yankees right outside of Petersburg.
Yeah,
And so I did as much research as I could, and last Saturday we went to the area where he was taken prisoner.
is that
We
right?
went right in his house. He was trying to get to this place,
Uh-huh.
and the Yankees got him, and we went in his house and took a tour, and the man that ran his house gave Chad 5 bullets that they found out in the backyard. They had a right good battle. It's called the Battle of Sutherland. And this was an inn back in those days.
Margaret King does a lot that I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, she's done right much research, but it was about a mile from this point where he was captured. And she wrote a letter and said he was about 5'6" tall. Is that about
Well,
right?
he's not very tall.
Not very tall. Well, I can look at that photograph up there and tell you. This one right here. Let me see it in a minute. Because he always wore a beard then, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a beard when he married my mother.
Did he?
I never saw him without a beard.
How about that? How about that? Well, beyond being a preacher, did he farm?
Yeah, he had a farm.
And how big a farm did he have?
Well, at the last he had 4.
4 different farms?
Yeah,
And did he pass them on down to his heirs? Did you inherit a
I
farm?
got one of them.
How big a farm is that?
Mine is about 100 acres.
And you still have?
Yeah. I'm the only one that has it.
Is that right?
All the rest of them,
What do you have? Do you have any of his Civil War?
no, I didn't. Yeah, I did have the gun,
What happened to
his
him?
gun, but my son-in-law is taking care of it.
I see. How about it? Did he have any Civil War clothes or anything
No,
like that?
no, I never saw anything.
Really? Did he like to hunt, fish, or anything
Yeah,
like
he liked to fish.
that?
And he used to tell about how he could kill the squirrels.
That's what Ms. Margaret Clemens said. He was a real good shooter with a weapon in it.
Yeah,
And so now your son-in-law has his gun.
yeah.
So what's your son-in-law's name?
Bobby Carr.
Bobby Clark.
You know Everett Carr,
Oh, yeah.
his brother.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Everett Carr's brother. Well, we don't know. I didn't know that.
He has that slat place down on the highway. Hard slat.
Hog Flat, Bobby Carr. Okay.
Oh, his name's Richard.
Richard, okay.
Bobby.
Right here is a lot of it. This was written in 1938.
Yeah.
Have you
And
read
I understand from Margaret Clemens that, now your husband's name was
Roderick Flynn.
Roderick.
Uh-huh.
And didn't your husband go with him to the Gettysburg reunion in 1938?
He went with Papa. He all had to have somebody to go with him.
I know, because all of them were so old, weren't they?
Yeah.
Now,
So he enjoyed it. He liked it.
did he talk to you about that, tell you about it?
Well, no, nothing much. Only he told me that the president then, what was his name? Who was the president?
In 1938 would have been Franklin Roosevelt.
Yeah. And that he had them all in a place and sat and talked to them. And that Robert said this president sat right in front of Papa and looked right at him.
How about that?
You know, Papa was a Republican.
I know that. I know that.
And so, but Robert, he was a Democrat.
Is that right? Now, what year did your husband pass away?
With who?
Your husband, Roderick. When did he pass away?
It's been 21 years ago.
Okay. What kind of work did he do?
Most anything he was teaching though when we got married.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And where did you and he live?
Right there where I live.
The home place.
Yeah.
Okay. Is your house still there? The house you
My house is
Yeah,
the one that we first built.
and it's still there.
Yeah, but it run down. I let my granddaughter, live there, and she didn't take care of it.
Okay.
And Mary, my daughter here, and her husband is trying to fix it up.
I see. Do you miss being there?
Worked out there all this week.
Do you miss being there?
Yeah, I do. I wish I could go back.
Well, if you could go back and do anything different in this world, what would you do?
I just enjoy it.
What was your daddy's favorite hobby?
Well, I wouldn't think he had was special.
Did he read a lot like Ralston Butler does? Ralston Butler reads Bible all the time.
Yeah, he read his Bible. But now, he's the older one with almost grandchildren. It's a preacher. But he's not our mama. That was the first thing.
But what? What did she say?
You got what did you say? You had a son-in-law that was a Baptist preacher?
No, from Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
The only grandchild Papa had as a preacher.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is that right? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But my dad wasn't Southern Baptist, wasn't Reverend Honeycutt Southern Baptist?
He was missionary Baptist.
Oh, so is Piney Green Baptist missionary Baptist?
Yeah.
Okay.
They tell me he could pray. Now, could he do that?
I've had people to tell me they have to hear him pray.
They love to hear him pray.
Yeah.
Someone told me he prayed long prayers.
Well, he could pray.
He could pray.
Yeah.
Wasn't lacking for words.
Yeah.
And I believe the articles in Margaret Clemens said even when he was in his 90s, he'd walk 2 or 3 miles to church.
Yeah, he walked right. But he was up and going when he first, the last time he got sick. And his mind was good, though. He could remember everything.
How about that?
But he got Clipstone. He stayed at Clipstone.
When you say he stayed at Calypso, you mean downtown in Clinton?
Yeah.
Across from College Street School.
Okay. When he got sick, that's where he went.
Yeah, he was there when he died. And my mother too.
Is that right? I did not know. We saw Rufus yesterday. And I had these photographs, and it was just coincidental. I said, Rufus, let me show you where Reddin Honeycutt was. And we had just been there last week, and we got to talking about it, and he told us about how well you were doing. And we said, well, we got to go see her. We've been studying her daddy long enough. We need to go talk to her.
Yeah, he's left in bad shape, though. Well, no, he's all right. But it was bad for him to lose his wife this early.
Oh, it sure was. Sure was.
And now, Hortense, you remember Hortense?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Well, her son, Thomas, lived in Las Vegas. And his wife died this week.
Precious.
So,
Well, what is the thing you remember most about your papa? If I said, when I say your papa, what do you think of?
well, I just know he was a good man.
Good man.
Now, he had 16 children, Vindaro.
Yeah.
How many were from your mother?
His first wife had 10, and Mama had 6.
His first wife's name was Ella McClam.
My mother was Ella Roy.
So there was Ella McClam and Ella Roy.
All right, now, did all of you children live in the same house?
Yeah.
And that's the house there at Reynolds Crossroads you're talking about. It's torn down there. But I mean,
Well, in the old house, it was a 2-story house, and it got tore down.
well, were all 16 of you there at one time? Or were all of them
A
gone?
lot of them died, babies.
Okay, but now, where were you in the 16 in terms of age? Were you
I was,
out of the 16, what rank were you in age? Were you the baby or the...
no. Mama had Hortense and Calypso, and then me. I was in
Hortense, Vindaro, and who are the other ones?
Mary, and Nathaniel.
Now, who's the baby? Nathaniel's the baby. Is he still alive?
No, he's been dead a good while.
Okay, where did he live?
He was living in Virginia when he died.
Okay, and... Okay, no Hortense Calypso. What was the other one?
I had one brother.
Oh, one, okay.
I had 2 but his first wife, my brother. You know, I don't know where Margaret had that in hers or not, but Papa's first boy, his first wife, dated my mother before my daddy did.
She said that. I told Dianne that coming up here. Sure did. Because he was
They're about
old.
the same age.
Right, about the same age, and your brother had dated her before your daddy married.
Yeah.
I told him that.
Now, listen, was Ella's middle name Jane? Because the newspaper, or this article says his maternal... Okay, it says both of his wife's name were Jane. Her name must have been Ella Jane. Was that your mother's name?
Yeah.
Ella Jane?
Yeah.
So both wives had Jane in their name.
And their daddies were Isa.
Both of them were Aisha.
Yeah, that's what the article says. Aisha, yeah.
Yeah, Papa was at Calypso's, and this girl there in Cleveland wanted to write the history of him. And she went up there to Calypso's, and Papa wrote all that stuff.
Oh, is that right? This is interesting. So one of the, Dale, it said he served under Captain Ashford. And then it says here an interesting name.
The captain in charge of his unit, grandson, is a friend of ours.
Is that right?
And his name is Colonel John Ashford.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the Sampson County plowboard. Well, yeah, they started out as the plowboards.
Said that he was a sharpshooter, because he was good at shooting squirrels, and that's why he was good with sharpshooting.
Yeah, this is where a lot of this sounds like a lot of what Margaret Clemens has said out of this article.
That one page there is about the funeral.
Mm-hmm. Well, did he spank you girls? Papa spank you girls?
Not much.
They didn't need spanking. They were
Well,
well
y'all
behaved.
sweet girls.
Yeah,
I believe that. Somehow I believe that. And
he didn't whip Nathaniel because he was a baby and a boy.
He got away
He
with
got
murder.
wrong without whipping.
He got away with everything.
Yeah.
well, who are you the most like, your mama or your daddy? In your
I
opinion?
say my mother.
Would you? So you're a Roy.
Yeah.
Now, Vindaro, were any of the first set of the children from the first wife living at home?
Well, they lived in the big house. He had just built it. Papa just built this 2-story house. And he died. Well, Stella was the baby.
My grandmother was the baby.
And they were all grown when Papa married her.
Okay.
What do you know about your papa's daddy, Mr. Hillary Honeycutt? What do you ever hear your daddy say about him? Because I know he died about 4 or 5 days after Civil War.
Yeah. I heard my daddy talking about him one time, and he liked liquor.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh my.
But he had changed. My daddy told us that he changed a lot.
Okay. Did he farm also? Mr. Hillary Honeycutt?
Yeah, he was a farmer. He didn't have a very big farm, but Papa, he took over with his mother and helped raise them. And they bought, then he got to buy land. Sometimes
He got the what?
buying land.
Oh, okay.
Where did he live, Mr. Hillary Honeycutt?
Not far from there where we live now. The man that owns that, they call a field Beatty, after his mother.
So, right now,
They lost that though, and he bought another place.
but you don't really have any idea where he's buried?
No, I don't, of course, I know that people have tried to find it.
Margaret Clemens said he thought he was buried in the Honeycutt Cemetery.
No, he won't.
He was not. Now, where's the Honeycutt Cemetery?
Right there in front of my house. That's the cemetery.
Okay.
Is that the house that's no longer there?
Yeah.
Is that the house Reverend Reddin Honeycutt built? The 2-story?
No, I got that. No, Nathaniel got that.
Okay.
If we went to that store at Reynolds Crossroads and said, can you tell us where the Honeycutt Cemetery is, would they know?
Well, there's 2 Honeycutt cemeteries.
Oh, there is?
Right on down the road from those railroads. And that one don't have no people buried there.
Well, did you know Mr. Dennis Parker that lived right there?
Dennis Parker. Yeah, I knew it.
His 2 daughters work for me.
Is that right?
Miss Jean Bellamy and Miss Martha Parker Chief.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I know.
had a house right there at Reynolds Crossroads, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sisters. Yeah. Yeah. So who is buried in your family is buried in the Honeycutt Cemetery?
Yeah. Oh, no, they're buried at Piney Green.
Your family, now I've seen your daddy's.
Yeah,
Right.
my mother's buried there, and Nathaniel,
Nathaniel,
and my sister Mary, she died. She's buried there,
okay.
and that's where I've got my lot. I'll be buried there. And Stella had some children buried there with cavalry,
Yeah.
They buried all those people there now.
Yeah, we got a photograph of that in here somewhere. Yeah. Look here, if I can show you what Margaret Clement sent us. Would you look at that?
I know it.
That's
If she
incredible.
talks like she writes, she's dangerous. I mean, she sent us a whole book.
People go there to see her, and they say her husband don't get to say a word. Was he there when you went?
Well, we talked on the telephone, and she mailed us this. She's mailed us stuff 2 times. But we wanted you to know your papa is not forgotten now. He's still, I got some people there in Clinton, and I'll say, well, we're doing a little research on Reddin Honeycutt. And in fact, we were with a couple last night from Delaware. He said, I remember Mr. Honeycutt.
Yeah, they all
I
know him.
remember that. I reckon he used to come to town, come to Clinton on Saturday.
Yeah, he goes to town. He went to town a lot.
Did he?
When I learned to drive, I had to take him. We had a car, and I learned to drive it. I'd have to take him to town.
Let me see. Mr. Colonel Ashford, the one that was your daddy's captain, ran a lumber yard right there near the courthouse, and sometime, and I'm not exactly sure when it was, it exploded and killed him and his 2 sons.
Is that right?
Yeah, but it was early on, and you'd probably been a child. I don't remember exactly when it was. But did you ever hear your daddy talk about your daddy being in the Civil War? What happened to him?
Well, that's, I didn't know it until Margaret Jane mentioned. She had looked it up.
Yeah.
I've got a great-grandson that's in college on my daddy's record in service. You know that you could get something or other out of the Civil War.
A scholarship because your family was in the Civil War.
Yeah, or my daughter. Let's see. She was, Margaret Jane's son. He's one of them.
I'm going to get photographs of them. Why don't you take that off? I'm going to get a photograph of, it's really 4 generations right here. Okay? Chad, you get over here beside me.
Vindaro, were you ever in the nursing home in Clinton?
What?
Did you ever live in one of the retirement homes in Clinton? No.
Have you been here? How long have you been here?
Have I done what?
How long have you been here?
3 years.
You like it?
Well, it's all right. You can't stay home.
Can they sit with you? I want to get us a good photograph.
No, we just came in.
We need Ralston Butler in here, but he's missing.
Sit down on your knees, bud, so we'll be her height. Our heads need to be about the
Chad,
same
let's
height.
move this. Diane's got a light going to be too bright over there.
Chad, you better turn that
Yeah,
light off.
I think it will.
The photograph.
It's on the bottom of the pit.
There you go, that's better.
Here you go.
All right, look in it, Chad. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get a couple more in. I might just get you in the newspaper, you know that?
Oh,
You may want to write a story.
This is a real story now, I'm telling you.
Vindaro, were you a member of the Daughters of the Confederacy?
I didn't have to go, but Hortense did.
Did she?
That Cripso never did.
Okay. And now, Hortense, are you the only surviving daughter?
Yeah, the only one that was living.
Can you get up on it?
Yeah.
Is that your
Did
Bible?
you know you'll have an aunt here?
No. Who?
Clifton's wife.
Clinton's what? Rita? Rita?
No, Clifton. The one that got killed.
Right. His wife's name, I thought it was Rita.
It's what?
Rita? What's her name?
She lives right down the hall here.
Is
I think
that?
her name is Rita.
I've never known her name, but her son comes up here to see her. James Butler. You don't know him?
Yeah, I do.
He made a picture of Miles and Stella and the 8 boys. I had the little Kodak picture of them. And he took that and did he give you one? He made about 6 or 8.
James did?
James.
Okay.
He's a good-looking boy.
I've seen a picture of all the boys, but I've never seen one with Miles and Stella with all the boys.
Mine had, they were strong. And it was real good. It would come out better than the Kodak picture.
Did you live, how long did you live with Ralston Butler in the same house? Ralston.
I never lived there.
You never lived with Ralston?
No.
Okay.
No,
You lived with his mother,
Stella.
Stella.
But she never lived in the same house with Stella. Didn't you say Stella was grown and gone from home?
No, she was his baby girl, and she was a date Miles, so when Papa buried Mama.
What was Ralston like when he was a young fella? Did you get to know him then?
Yeah, he was a good-looking boy.
Was he?
Yeah.
What did he act like?
Well, he was pretty gentle.
Gentle?
Yeah.
He could sing and play the piano, couldn't he?
Yeah.
He was in a quartet.
And he was mighty good to Stella. He brought her to my house several times.
Did he?
Did you go to Herring School?
Yeah. Every one of my children graduated there.
Then, dear, do you remember living in the same house with any, with Estella?
No.
Y'all never remember living in the same house together?
I was born after they got married, and I'll come along the third one.
You came along what?
I was the third one with Mama had.
Third one.
So they weren't gone.
So they were all married. The first group of children by Ella Jane McClam.
No, they were all grown
Yeah.
when Mama married.
Well, did the families ever all get together? The first group of children? Gosh, but there were so many. There was not a big enough to hold them all, probably.
They were just about 2 the girls. It was Stella and Lou were siblings. And they got come there home a lot.
So my grandmother had 10 children in her family.
Yeah, 2 of them died young.
So there were 8.
The 8 children lived in until right lately. She got those boys.
Hey, turn the flash off. I'm going to take a photograph of this.
Take it down, yeah. But it'll pop up if it's
Well,
needed.
you reckon I can? Look. I'm going to take a photograph. Yeah, we're going to keep on.
Margaret Jane gave you that.
Wait a minute, huh?
Margaret Jane gave you that.
This is yours.
This is yours. I got it off the wall up there.
This is
Oh,
yours.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just taking a photograph of it. Let's see if I can get it.
Make sure that cap isn't getting away.
Hold it still now.
Maybe too close to focus.
Oh,
I got a big picture of my daddy and mama at Butlers.
is that right?
And they had it made when the first child wanted to come along.
Really?
And she know with child, Mama made our pictures. I said they were proud that they had that hortip.
Yeah. What did you girls do? Did y'all work in tobacco and
Well,
when you were teenagers?
we helped out in the tobacco, but we didn't do much cotton picking.
Did you always have plenty to eat?
Yeah, pretty.
Was during the Depression, I imagine.
Yeah, my mom and dad, they had plenty of hogs and chickens and all.
Oh, yeah.
We just had to buy the little things, you know, like rice and coffee.
So you grew your own vegetables?
Yeah. And he always had a lot of sweet potatoes.
Oh, yeah. My daddy loved sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ralston Butlers told me that they'd go down in the field with huckleberries, he called them.
Yeah.
Did y'all have huckleberries too?
Yeah. Them boys, I've always heard Stella talk about how good their boys like tomatoes.
Is that right?
Said they'd eat them like apples.
That Ralston Butler, he has some unusual eating habits, I'll tell you that.
Hey, did you say you'd had another highlight stroke?
He did about 2 months ago. 2 or 3 months ago. It was a very light stroke, though. It affected his balance. You know, he walks 3 and 4 hours a day. He will walk to the store in the morning to eat breakfast, which is about 3 miles, probably. Then he'll come back home. Then he'll take a nap and go back out again that afternoon. But he's had to stick around the house. They won't let him leave that and get out of sight.
Well, that's my trouble. I can't balance myself. They have to carry me.
Can you walk up here when you walk?
Yeah, I walk right, and I got my wheelchair too.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I can't walk very far. I do make it to the tree, but I can't even walk down to the beauty shop.
What kind of work did your husband do?
He was a teacher at first, and then he worked in the courthouse.
Did?
Yeah.
In Clinton?
No. Yeah. No. He in Burgall.
Okay.
He came from Tendertown.
Okay.
What did he do in the courthouse, Vindaro?
Well, it was tax. Worked in the tax office.
Tax office.
Okay.
Chad, do you have any questions in it? Well, this has been wonderful. We appreciate it. Now, this is exciting to us.
Yeah, I told girls, son, I said, you better come on and be with us. And Mary and Jim's fixing to go on a vacation tomorrow.
Oh, good.
See, he's just retired from the Marines.
Oh, yeah.
And they will make their home here and there.
You know who she reminds me of? My grandmother, Miss Laura Johnson. You do.
I've seen your grandmama.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I knew. I went with who was that now? Old Lucy.
Ruthie.
To pay a bill on that. She in the oil business.
That's my mother. That was my mother. I'm talking about my daddy's mother.
Oh.
She died about 20 years ago, but you remind me so much of her. Y'all look alike.
Oh.
She was a pretty lady, too.
Well,
She was a saint. Just a sweet
There was.
lady. Tell me what kind of woman my grandmother was. Stella?
Stella.
Yeah.
Well, she worked herself to death.
You remember
With
those
all them boys.
Wow.
She did have a job raising them boys.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
That reminds me of your mother.
Well, so you're saying just keeping the family going with 8 boys. I can't imagine cooking for 8 boys.
I know it.
What age was she when she passed away? Stella. Stella Butler. How old was she when she passed away, approximately?
I wouldn't know, but
Approximately.
I think she was maybe around 60 or 65.
My young is.
What was wrong with her, Vindaro? I remember she was always in the bed the last few years.
Last year, she wore out.
Just wore out.
She said all she needed was some rest.
Amen.
So she went to bed the last, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
And I know my niece went and see her, one of her niece. And she was in bed in the hospital then. And she said, well, Aunt Stella, how you doing? She says, I'm just lying here waiting for the Lord.
Was she a feisty woman, or I imagine not, because Miles was rather feisty. Wasn't he kind of rough and rough?
No, Stella was easygoing.
Stella was easygoing, but Miles, her husband, I heard
He was a different person.
he was different.
He and Papa didn't get along too
Oh,
good.
really?
No. Well, he saw the Bible his way, and Papa saw it the other way. And my mama used to say she didn't think it was right to argue the Bible, but they'd do it.
Oh. Now, was Mr. Miles a preacher too?
No, he wasn't a preacher.
What did he do for a living?
He farmed.
Oh.
But was Miles the one who left Piney Green Baptist and went down the road and started Calvary Baptist?
Yeah.
And was that because
He was one of the leaders.
was that because he was arguing with your daddy about the Bible?
No, it wasn't that. They just all got together, some of them, and Stella went with Miles because she had to.
To keep peace in the family.
She wouldn't offer to try to argue with him.
Yeah. Was Miles a hard-headed guy?
Yeah.
How about your daddy, Papa?
Well, he had his way.
Yeah. Who was the hard-headed? Is that wrong?
Yeah.
Was it Miles or Papa?
Miles.
Oh. I knew it.
He says I'm hard-headed.
Do you remember Miles?
I do. I remember him, he was an old man though, when I remember him. I don't remember, he was probably in his 60s or 70s when I knew him. Because he was what, about 80 when he died?
Who, your daddy?
Miles.
I don't know how he was born.
He was we were living in Alaska.
He died after Stella did.
Yeah, we were living in Alaska in 63. He came home for the funeral. It was 62 or 63. But do you remember Miles' mom and dad? His family?
Well, Miles, I know he had a brother, but I don't know anything about the other. And there was a woman that he called Aunt Polly.
Aunt Polly?
Do you know where's Miles? They're buried at Calvary, right? Yeah. Okay. How about his father? Where is he buried?
I don't know.
Miles Butler's father.
Miles is the father. I don't know.
Was he a Polish doctor? Someone told me he was a poultice. Back then, did they put a poultice on your
Yeah, they do that. Well, most all the old people did.
Yeah.
And Miles was a poultice doctor. He would put that. Well, what was it made out of? Tar? Tar. Someone told me he was kind of a doctor.
That's the grandfather.
So Miles was very religious, but sometimes obnoxious because
Okay. This has been one. I'm just sorry I didn't get to know you.
Well, I wish you could stay longer.
Well, I want you